guys, and ladies, what is going on? This is another monthly minute. All right, a lot of things have happened. We did exactly what we said we would do. I love it. I put the videos out there. We were a little late, but they got there. All right, if you're new, this is Levi the Pearl. Please like and subscribe. We got the live today going. On the road. Traffic is looking good. But you know, anything could happen. Alright, left on time for work. Now it's all up to man upstairs and whatever's going on the road to allow me to get to work on time. Alright, cool. So my channel has been mostly focusing on prepping, getting ready, and making sure equipment is available for shop. And although I want to say yes, oh hey, what's going on? Let me see if I can find out who's on the chat. Alright, if you're here, please hit the like button. Also put up a comment just to say hi so I can properly address you as I glimpse over if possible. I have my phone directly on the front shield so I can see you and everything around you. Alright, so while I'm doing this live, if I'm not directly looking, it's because I'm going to different traffic. You know what's funny about the road? There's always that one vehicle that gets on the fast lane when they know they're not supposed to. It's really interesting. And then they drive extra slow, people pass them, and then they want, like, if go to the right lane. That's a little slower. But I don't know, that's just me. So, yeah, alright, so we're gonna get on what we're gonna be talking about today, which is next plan, how we're gonna move forward to accomplish things. Alright, so I've been talking about managing time. I'm gonna keep talking about that because, and he was explaining that he doesn't spend much time on his business. However, he does. Because he's one of those YouTubers that really doesn't need any publicity. He's just or any more views than he already has. He just wants people to gradually watch his stuff and, you know, grow with him as he grows. So yeah, and as I was watching him, he was basically talking about 3 things that matter when it comes to trying to run your own little operation. And basically, it's this. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, let me know also. Okay. Okay. So with all that happening. Yeah, so basically, the 3 things is, he mentioned was family, time to himself, time for the business. So, for me, I have 4 things going on. family time I need to manage so they can get the proper amount of attention that they need. Then I have work, a 9 to 5 that I go to. And time for myself, which is pretty much religious time, or watching YouTube and just having some me time, The other thing, the last one is time for the business. So having time for the business is, I don't know if I mentioned that twice, but that's like the number one thing that I'm having issue with right now. Having time for the business is key towards success because you know exactly when to get. So I have a lot going on in my life, and also I'm trying to start a new brand as well as a new channel, and both the brand and the other channel that I'm starting is a religious channel. Because there's certain things that I know that I just can't hold on to and just sit around. So I'm just letting it out there. But anyways, that's for another day. For today, on the minutes that we're going to be talking about is time management, finding time for the business, and equipments. And how the new equipments that I purchased, how they've been working for me. Alright. So let's go with time management. So far with time management, I found out that I have some time in the bucket. The only issue with those time that I have in the bucket, rest is trying to take over. And the reason why I say rest is trying to take over is because 9 to 5 regular job is mentally draining. And because of that, I find myself needing more time for rest. So what I do, in case I didn't say it before, well, I've said it before, I work in a clinical lab, and especially with COVID, C word, we're going through a lot as far as like patients, right? So it's required me to do a little bit more than usual, and because of that, it's more mentally draining. Especially since I used to work my regular shift the Army income coming in, because by that time I'll have good enough time where kids are all grown, it's just me and my wife, and we're just going to be focusing on, you know, printing, getting things out there. By then I should have the knowledge, experience, and the ability to upscale the business and not have to worry about a 9 to 5 getting a constant paycheck coming in as opposed to now, are there other ways of doing that? Yes, I've already had other investment plans set up so I can actually get to that point where I don't, I wouldn't say need the 9 to 5, but want to be there. And right now, I'm close to want to be there. And as long as it's wanting to be there, I'm good. But I want to like have other investments, so not only I want to be there, but you know, I'm there because there. Like, I just want to be there. That's how most jobs should be. Working it because you need it, but you want it, you know? So, anyways, that's for another day. So yeah, it's been kind of, that mental drain is basically my body trying to get used to working another shift. From working mornings, usually my routine was, especially since I was like somewhere and stuff, my routine was basically I get home, take a nap, wake up, start my printing process, start like checking out my machine, my printers, see how they're doing, if I need to buy ink or stock or anything, I would, but it'd be like nighttime, and then I'd like maybe a video or two, and then all day, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and get ready for work. Now it's different, I'm working in the afternoon, so I have to push my mind to thinking differently again. And that's what's mentally draining right now. Going from a different shift to another shift. And because of that, I'm not functioning as much as I want to in the business. However, I'm trying to change that by managing my time. And one of the pockets I find is basically this pocket of time. Usually in the afternoon, I have like an hour or two where I can just focus on doing some prints or getting some videos ready or doing somebody's job, like t-shirt design. And that's basically what's going on. Also at night, when I get home, I have like I wouldn't say a few hours, but I definitely have a few minutes. No, yeah, I have like an hour or two. You know, just like the afternoon where I can spare some time to just work on some prints or design or just do like a 30-minute live. So that's basically the goal. And those pockets of time, like I need to manage them better so I can just basically get you guys more content, focus on working with the machines, getting to know them a little better, and from there by doing it constantly, I can develop a schedule or a routine where these are the type of things that I'm doing constantly that's helping the channel grow, helping the business grow, and ultimately getting prints on shirts or whatever apparel I may come across. So that's basically what's going on as far as the channel right now. Time management. All right, so when it comes to the business itself, the machines, I've been able to bring in a few machines and they've helped a lot. The reason why they've helped is because if I didn't have them, I would need like another person. And because the machines are there, when somebody else comes in to help out, it's going to be amazing, because not only do the machines do all the work, but all I have to do is just show them how to press print and they're good to go, you know? So that's basically what's going on. I've been just collecting machines that can like make the job a lot easier for both me and my future help, whoever it is, whenever it is. I'm hoping it's family, but who knows? Who knows? I've had a shop before, more like an office front, and it worked out really great. So hopefully it continues to work out. Who is here? Let's see. Hide all chat, message, members, and super chat messages. All messages are visible. Oh, hi. Oh, Lily's here. Hi. Hey, Lily, what's going on? Leave out a pal. If you're here, like and subscribe. You know what it is. All right. Yeah, so right now I'm just basically doing like a kind of like a daily minute, a monthly minute type of thing for the business, stating what's going on, what changes I'm gonna make, what improvements I'm gonna make. And the reason why I'm doing it is because it's to keep me accountable, so I'm not just, because it's in an at-home shop, and when you have an at-home shop, you tend to focus more on like family more than the business, which is a good thing because your family matters. However, at the same time, while you're sitting down watching 2-3 movies or just talking, some of those times could be utilized to help you grow business-wise, and also to bring more income into the family, or to just find a way where you can be home, interacting with your family, and at the same time making money, to a point where, like, if it blows up, that you may not even need to go anywhere but stay home and just create profit, you know? So that's ultimately the goal for, I guess, the future, not current, present. One day, maybe retirement, who knows? If not sooner or later. But yeah. So yeah, like I was talking before about equipment. So I've been able to bring a lot of new equipment, and what I've noticed with the equipments I brought in, oh my gosh, them things have gone up. Like, I am glad I got them at the right time I did, because everything right now is just constantly just increasing in value. Oh man, like I was looking for another Epson 7710 or 7720. I went on Amazon. Man, that thing was selling for like almost $1,000. Like, each one, the cheapest I can get them is like around close to the 6 to 5. I bought mine. I looked out. So I was on whose channel was I on? I was on somebody's channel, and somebody had commented, if you want Epson printers, now is the time to get it because they're doing refurbish on the Epson 7710 and 7720, and it was for like I believe they say it was for like 106. So I went online and I looked at it. It was 106. I said, what the hell? So I grabbed it. This was like 2018, maybe 2018, leading into 19. And yeah, so when I grabbed it, you know, with tax, it came up to like $112. So I didn't pay much for my Epson 7710, right? And what ended up happening was I used it for a lot of my videos for like sublimation. I converted to a sublimation printer, and like it's still here. Like it's just been doing its thing, you know. I've done lots of prints on it. I've done lots of stuff for people. Whenever somebody wants like a humongous image, I try my hardest to lead them to a sublimation, because you know, the bigger the image you have, the more ink you need to put, and if that ink is on top of the shirt, it's going to wash out eventually. So sublimation, you know, it doesn't wash out, it goes the whole life of the shirt. You know, you can, even if you throw bleach on it, the ink, the fabric itself may deteriorate a little bit from its actual color, but the image will still be visible so long as, and even if you were to bleach the whole thing, the image will still be there. It's just, it'll be more faded, you know? So that's one of the things that I liked about sublimation. You know, the image will still be there, you know? And it could go through like harsher treatments. So anyways, I grabbed the sorry, too many machines in my head. So I grabbed the Epson 7710, and it's been with me ever since, you know? So the other day, the reason why I'm talking about it, the other day I was looking for another one, because what I did was I converted my Epson 7710 into a light color DTF. And I say light color because there's no white, there's no extra cartridges that you can put the white ink on. It's only CYMK, right? Cyan, magenta, yellow, and K being black. So because of that, you can't do dark colors. You can only do light colors, just like you would to do sublimation. But same day, what's going on? Yeah. So as I'm getting this thing prepped and ready, I realize, you know what? Once I convert to DTF light, using only 4 colors, no white, because you know, just like screen printing, you need white on the image, I mean on a shirt, before you can lay down any color, because the white will be your base, and the white, what it does is it pushes out any color so it can actually be seen. Because if you lay a DTF print on a black color and there's no white, what happens is it just fades into the black, you know? So yeah, that's why I call it DTF light, because there's no white. Now here's the beautiful thing, right? When I converted this printer with the 4 DTF inks, it made my capability of pushing out prints a lot faster, because you're no longer using the RIP software. And since you're not using the RIP software, all you're doing is just pushing out prints, you know? And however fast the printer prints, that's how fast you're going to get an image. Now, you gotta be careful, because if you want like for prints, remember the DTF film, when it prints, the ink is not dry. So if you print another film on there, once that film touches the ink that's on the first film that you printed, there's gonna be ink all over the second DTF film. So because of that, what I decide to do is print it one at a time. But still, even if you print it one at a time, or you catch it as it's coming, the speed compared to how fast you print if you were using the full colors of DTF is phenomenal. Like, that's why I was thinking about converting my my Epson 7710 back to sublimation, because somebody had asked me to do sublimation, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do it. But then the issue came in where I had already converted this printer, and the prints on it is amazing. Like, when you print DTF light on a light color garment, it feels so, you know? The only difference is the image stays on the surface, but it's still light to the, it's so soft, man. Oh my God. I still remember my first print. Loved it. And if you're doing it with like RIP software, where you're using freaking, what's that thing called? Dots. Oh my gosh. Like, that thing is amazing. Like, the hand feel is just, it's super soft. So I fell in love with that, and the fact that I could do 13 by 19, oh man. I'm like, nah, I'm not converting this printer back. I'm not, because I have my own apparel, call it, no, my own brand that I'm trying to start pretty soon. And once I start the brand, I will need a printer that does light color garments for DTF, because chances are, once I throw those white shirts on there with all those banging designs, people are going to be asking for more, and those are easy to just pop, you know. So that's the Epson 7710. Now this thing is like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. Because not only can you convert it to sublimation, but people find out you can convert it to DTF. And also, I want to mention on my DTF light that I call it, I think I commented that I got it from somebody originally, a lady that was doing it. She tried it out, it worked out. I saw the video and I just repeated it, and that's basically it. You know? That's why I was having such issues with like sublimation printers, because the Epson 7710 I have, I'm not converting that thing back to the sublimation or regular ink. It's man, that DTF on it is just freaking amazing. It's phenomenal, you know. Not to mention, like, I've spoken to some of my customers. I'm like, hey, what's going on with your shirt? To find out how to wash this. And they're like, yeah, we wash it with normal wash. What's normal wash? We just throw it with all the colors, whatever. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They're like, it's still there. Should it be coming off? I'm like, no, just wondering. And this thing, it holds true to itself. Like, it's amazing. I love DTF, man. But yeah, that's what's going on. So now the Epson 7710 has skyrocketed in value. What I purchased it for was $112, and now it's triple the value. Double to like triple, and some places I'm looking at like $800, you know, to almost $1,000, because whoever the Epson discontinued that printer because they had a certain amount to make. They made that amount, and then they started with other brands, and now their main focus is on the Eco Tanks. And oh man, oh, I do not recommend doing Eco Tank printing for DTF, because even though the inks can hold out, they're good enough to like not clog so much when you're not using the white. If you're only using the 4 colors, you still don't want to risk that clogging process, because remember, they made the Eco Tank a certain way where you'd have to go through more work in order to flush out whatever ink you have in there. So it's best to just use the regular ink or sublimation ink. I don't recommend anything else, you know. So since we're talking about Eco Tank, let me go to my other one. Usually I try and make sure my live is around 35 minutes. So it's 32 minutes now and counting. So yeah, my Eco Tank, I know you saw the video. The one thing I love about Eco Tanks, most of them print from the back. So since it's printing from the back, you can load as many films or sublimation paper you want, and there's a reason why I said film. But yeah, we're gonna focus on basically sublimation paper. So with the sublimation paper, you can do a whole lot, you know, mugs, anything you want, shirts, hats, as long as the surface has polyester, 50 to 100, you should be okay. But yeah, so that's what's going on as far as like sublimation, you know, like the Eco Tank I have the Canon. I was considering getting the Epson because Epson is the leading basically platform for printers when it comes to sublimation, because the ink heads don't warm up to try to heat up the ink, so as it lays there, it just heats up. And the problem with that is when you have an ink head that's programmed in a way where it heats up the ink when you're doing sublimation. So you saying you don't have to print? Sorry, I missed the message because it faded out. So you saying you don't have to print the white ink on a white shirt with DTF? Oh, so same day. Bro, I'm about to peep you some game real quick. If you get a refillable cartridge and you have an Epson printer, right? You don't need white at all. So long as you're using light color garments, you don't need white. The ink itself becomes transparent whenever you're not using white as the background. So if you lay it on a white shirt, whatever the image is, it's just gonna be a beautiful colored image. You could do a rainbow, whatever you want, you know? It's just gonna be a beautiful image. The difference is without that white ink, the white ink is actually heavier and thicker than all the other inks. That's why it clogs, because the way they made it so it could be thick. If you're familiar with screen printing, the way screen printing works is you mix the white ink and then you screen print it on a dark garment. That ink is usually a little thicker than the other inks. And because of that, since it's thick, it becomes opaque. And it's that opaque capacity that allows you to lay down any color on the white so it can be seen. But if you're using a light color garment, you don't need white at all. And when you're not using the white ink, the white sublimation ink, bro, it's so soft. Man, if you see check out my video, DTF light Epson 7710, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Man, I was feeling that shirt like I wanted to make love to it. It was so amazing. It felt so soft. I was like, what the hell? I've never felt ink that soft before. All right, so that's one caution I have for you. Once you print DTF without the white on a light color garment, you're gonna be like, holy smokes. Oh, and also, if you don't want to spend money on getting another DTF printer, and you have your 6 color, 5 color, 8 color, whatever DTF printer, all you have to do, you don't use the RIP software, you print on the printer as if it's a regular printer. All you need to do is reverse the image. That printer will actually print at its normal capacity, which is quick. Because when I'm about to throw a video pretty soon explaining why it takes so long for the prints to print, right? Basically, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, it's because I'm excited. So to stick to topic, when you print on a regular DTF printer, it takes a long time because the RIP software is telling the printer, hey, I know you have 6, 5, or whatever amount of cartridges. I need 4 of those cartridges to print black K, C cyan, M magenta, Y yellow. And when the printer decides, okay, if that's what you want, then that's what I'll do. What tends to happen is you have a few cartridges that's left over. Now the printer is being communicated again by the computer saying, hey, not only do I want you to print those images in CYMK format, but the extra ink that you have, consider them all white, and I just want you to print the colors first, the image, and then lay that white on top of the image. And that's how the printer works, right? So it takes a long time because the computer has to change the printer's original programming to doing something it doesn't normally do. And the whole time the printer is taking that time, all the printer is doing is thinking, okay, this is what you want me to do. Okay, I usually do that, but all right, I'll change my programming. That's all the printer is doing during that time, that it's just thinking, or you're not getting prints. So when you if you have a regular DTF printer, you really don't need to buy another printer. All you have to do is print regularly without the RIP software, and you're good to go. But if you don't have a 6 color DTF printer and you don't plan on printing on light colors, that is perfect, because all you need is just the 4 color for DTF, the K black, C cyan, magenta, and yellow, and you'll be fine. Because once you have those colors and you press print, all the printer is going to do is just print. That's it. It doesn't have to think. It doesn't have to do anything. So you tell it to print, you hit the print, a few seconds later, a print comes out instead of like a few minutes later. All right. So, so the answer to your question is no, you do not need the white to do DTF, because unless you're putting the ink on a dark color garment, then you definitely need the white, because the white will subdue whatever color the garment is, so you can be able to see the print. And that's DTF printing. right? That's DTF dark explain, and that's DTF light explain. And I coined them DTF dark because you're using the white along with all the other colors. And I coined DTF light because you're not using white at all as your base. So that's it in a nutshell. So if you grab a regular Epson printer with refillable cartridges and you just get yourself from Big Boy, right? You get yourself some DTF ink from them, like, you're good. You don't need to purchase the RIP software that's like hundreds of dollars. You don't need to go out and buy that thousands of dollars DTF printer. You can, and sometimes it's recommended, especially if you want that satisfaction of if something goes wrong with your printer, you can call somebody and they'll help you out, you know? I'm not promoting buying it. I'm not promoting not buying it. I just want people who want to start this DTF process to have understanding of what they're getting into, because this is an amazing journey to be able to have a shirt that can stretch like screen printing, but be as easy as sublimation. It's like sublimation and screen printing had a baby and they called it DTF, you know? And the best part is, if you have a DTG printer, in case you didn't know, DTF ink and DTG ink, they're the same thing. The only difference is one is less diluted, that's all. That's all. DTF ink is made more diluted so it can flow through regular ink, regular printers. DTG inks is a little bit thicker, a little bit more manageable for the printer because their tubes are a little bit wider and it was primarily made for them, you know? But wait, can you use DTG ink as DTF? Yes, you can. You can use DTG inks. If you already have a DTG machine, what the hell with getting a DTF printer? Just slap a film on there and print. The only issue you're going to have when it comes to DTG is understanding how far the ink nozzle should be from the film. If you have understanding on how far the ink nozzle should be from the film, man, you good to go. You are good to go. You don't need no extra printer. You don't have to go out, do all these extra expenses. All you need is just ink. That's it. You know? All you need is just ink. So that's DTF in a nutshell. So the answer again is no, you don't need to just print. You don't need to print white if you're doing light color garments. You actually should not be laying down any white ink on a white color t-shirt. It already has the color white to allow you to see the image, you know? Yeah, so next up is sublimation and oh no, EcoTank. So I had said I was gonna convert my HP 1400, HPT 100 into a sublimation printer. That didn't work out. For some, it may be successful, but for me, it wasn't. That's not to say it can't be done. I may just have the wrong process and actually try and convert it. So because of that, I'm not gonna say it can't be done. You know, because all it is just you get a refillable card, you put it on there, and you do a few tests. Once your prints are okay, you just proceed to printing sublimation ink. You know, the reason why I wanted to print sublimation on my HPT 100 is because it can print 24 inches wide, which is 2 feet, by 150 inches, which is 8 feet. So I can literally print a whole, like, a whole shirt with no worries in order to do all of the sublimation. And that was the goal. However, things kind of changed because the printer itself took me forever. I did test after test. Man, this thing just would not budge. Like, the test came out good, and then 2-3 prints later, not so great. So because of that, I had to like step back, and from stepping back, what it allowed me to do was recalculate my plans on like what I wanted to do with that printer. And that printer, I plan on leaving it the same. I looked at my Epson 7710. I said, you know what, it's staying DTF light. I looked at my Epson 1400, and I said, you know what, it's already been converted, it's staying DTF dark. There's no reason for me to mess with any of them. And then my other printer I have, I got tons of them. This next printer I have is the Canon Pixma 1620 or something like that. Anyways, that one prints 13 by 19. I usually use it for my screen printed films. Now, don't count screen printing out of the biz yet. Although you have a printer that can print, printers run out of ink. And if you have 1 or 2 colors, man, and you have, like, let's say somebody orders like 100 t-shirts, I mean 200, 300, 400, who knows, 1,000 t-shirts. Screen printing can print as much as you can push the squeegee. As long as you can push the squeegee, it will print. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, let me look at the time real quick. All right, cool, I'm good for time. Yeah, so with that said, oh snap, I didn't take any charger for my phone. With that said, let me wrap it up. So yeah, I grabbed the okay, cool. Yeah, so I grabbed the I'll call it EcoTank. I'm pretty sure Canon doesn't call it EcoTank, but I grabbed the Canon 12 tank printer. And what I'm doing with it is sublimation. The reason why I'm using it for sublimation is because sublimation is pigment ink. And with pigment ink, it doesn't dry up as fast. You know? So I'm using that as means to print sublimation. And the fact that it has a little tank, I know when it's low and I can just refill it, no problem. So EcoTank, I would definitely say, is the next go for sublimation because it's a refillable system. You know, it's a CIS system, you know? So I'm glad I got it. I did a few samples. It worked out. And as you saw, I did a DTF film using sublimation ink, right?